All right, guys. Fula coming to you with another commentary video. Um, so yeah, man. I guess I don't know, man. Maybe someone can help me out with this, but I really don't know why people are like these women are in a hurry to divest and things like that. Uh, while I don't care, I really don't care. I mean, it doesn't matter to me because of the simple fact, hey, you know, you're gonna you're gonna lie in the bed you make, and also on top of that, you are going to um what's the word I'm looking for? You're going to like basically deal with the consequences of your decisions. You know, it's a tough pill to swallow at times, but it's just that's just the reality of the situation. So let me go ahead and go into something. And also, I will also say that um, I will also say that I'm going to go into something that a lot of Belejo women are not going to like. And this is going to be coming from, of course, one of a channel I respect a lot because she's so balanced and she's so mild mannered. Uh, Aisha too. Shout outs to her. But let's just get into this short thing that I happen to come across. Okay, let's see. Okay. Just give me 1 second. Just gotta delete some crap. Okay, now let's look.
The time I met a man got married a week after knowing each other moved to New Orleans and he beat my ass, tore up my apartment, and killed himself.
Now, the thing is that you can like find someone and you can marry them very soon. You know what I mean? Uh However, we have to ask ourselves like, okay, why did she go for this guy? Like, why did she marry him within a week instead of doing like, like I mean, even a month you can get married. If you want to marry someone within a month or so, like it really doesn't take that long. However, like why would she do it in a week? Like that's kind of confusing to me. Like that's pretty soon to get married is doing it in 1 week. Um so with this being said, one has to ask themselves, okay, well, is this really something that was is this something that we have to like take to face value? You know what I mean? Because you saw the picture, hold on, the black woman with
The time I met a man got married a week after
yeah,
knowing each other moved.
and that's the thing. Like the crazy thing is when what I notice about these divestors, this is what I notice mostly. And I guess his name is Christopher Raymond Conley. And he committed suicide basically. But what the thing that I notice about the divestors is that among the Belejo women, the thing that I notice about the Belejo divestors is that they will like in essence like um it really it really doesn't matter if how the Denedral looks that they divest with. However, um, it matters how a black guy looks. Like it can be the most average looking Denedral man, and they're gonna take it. And she may be like, she may be pretty herself, but then, for a Beledro man, you gotta be, who can I compare that to? You gotta look like, what's his name? You have to be like one of them Michael B. Jordan looking guys, or you gotta be like a damn Morris Chestnut looking guy or something like that for them for you to even meet the minimum requirements of what they're looking for. But for when it comes to a Tubak, they don't really have those requirements for them. But let's get into something that will make a lot of women upset. But hey, man, it's coming straight from a woman. The best thing is when you have a woman who is thinking logically, who has logic, and her logic and her emotion doesn't outweigh her logic. That's one of the most beautiful things ever, man. But let's get into this.
With the husband, I'm just so happy to be back. And if this is your first time here,
shout out to Aisha too.
Guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so sorry I haven't been around here for a couple of months now, and the reason behind it is just so many things been happening in my life, and I'm just so happy to be back. And if this is your first time here, my name is Aisha too. Thank you so much for passing by. And for all my oldies but goodies, thank you guys so much for always tuning in, commenting, subscribing. I've received so much subscribers in the last couple of months. I want to thank all of you guys. If you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Come on, please do consider watching all my other contents and do subscribe. And today I wanted to talk to you guys. Oh, before I even start, guys, I'm in Senegal. I'm so happy to be here. I don't know if you can see any changes, but I'm just at peace to be here at home. I'm gonna be here for the next 2 months or so, and I'm just happy to be able to have the opportunity to.
The thing that I like about Aisha too is that she's very genuine. You can tell that she's very genuine and that she's very like very sincere in what she's doing. Like, so versus like a lot of these other people. You know what I mean? That's what I like.
Change environment when I want to. Okay, so today I wanted to tell you guys, enough of that. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about polygamy and how it's not always bad, and that actually there's a lot of great things to it. So let's.
They're not gonna like this, but hey, I'm gonna be the one to do it, whether they like it or not.
Let's jump right into it. So the first reason why I say polygamy is not so bad and has a lot of great to it is that one, it is a way to allow a man to be able to expand his family. Let me elaborate on.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it in the past, I'm not saying I want to do this because we're living in different times. However, when my great grandfather, Rahmatullah alayh, when he had 4 wives and like numerous kids, that was one of his intentions, was to like expand his family. That was one of the main reasons why he engaged in polygamy, was to expand his family. You know what I mean? Well, let's continue.
So let's say that a man is married to a woman, the love of his life, his high school sweetheart and all of that. But then 2, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line, they have been trying so hard to have kids and they are not able to. In that sense, I believe that polygamy is a good thing. And before I even dive into that, polygamy is only, from my knowledge, only acceptable in Islam. religion where a man is allowed to marry up to 4 wives. And so I'm talking about polygamy in that sense, not anything else outside of that.
And so that's the problem with these hoteps, is that they have this like bastardized version of polygamy, and then on top of that, you have now hotep women thinking that they can have multiple husbands, and then you have, unfortunately, people like, I don't want to name his name, but he is he basically, I guess you can say, his name is paying homage to the South African resistance fighter Shaka Zulu, and he'll for some reason he actually encourages women to practice polygamy themselves, which I don't get.
So, in that sense, where a man and a woman have been together trying to have kids, I strongly believe that polygamy is okay in that specific situation. Especially, I have seen examples where the woman herself is the one asking the husband to please do marry a second wife. So,
You see? I've actually met I've actually met a woman that said that, like, she would want to come in as the second wife. You know what I mean? Because she feels that it would just be like more conducive to what she has going on. You know what I mean? So if this sister is telling you this, right? Then I don't see why. Like, I mean, basically, it's showing that women are on cold. You know what I mean? So you have situations where a woman will ask for a co-wife.
we can be able to bore more children. I mean, at this age and time that we live in, you can always do what Gabrielle Union did. Like, that's a great example where
Well, that is a great example what Gabrielle Union did, but I mean, she did it to herself, though. I mean, that woman, she even said when she ended one marriage that she rode the cop carousel. So that probably just pretty much destroyed what she had going on, basically.
they can go and get a surrogate and have kids and all of that. But again, with the cost of that, and most of these polygamy, they happen in Africa where people don't have that much money to, I don't know that they believe in that ideology of getting a surrogate and having kids that way. So in that sense, I believe that polygamy can be a great way, only if the first wife is okay with, the husband bringing in that other woman so that they could expand their family. Second reason why I believe that polygamy is not always a bad thing, again, just talking about the Islam, our religion, is because in Islam we are taught that once a Muslim die, everything stops except for three things. So a good deed that they did in their lives, all their good deeds will follow them to their grave. Any knowledge that they have left in the world, let's say they taught somebody the Quran and that person, even after their death, that person's still learning the Quran. Or if they open a mosque where people are still going and praying. So those kind of deeds follow them to the grave. And the third one is if they have children and those children are praying for them, so those prayers will follow them, like those dua that the children are making will follow them to the grave. So in that sense, I can understand why men will go ahead and want to marry.
And yeah, even right now, I still pray for my great grandfather. I still pray for my grandfather. I still pray for my father. Rahmatullah alayh. And that's the thing. Like, when you look at, for example, like a person like El Hajj Umar Tal, Rahmatullah alayh, and his numerous kids and what he left behind. You know, he left behind something that is very good. He left behind something that has like enhanced people in every way possible. When you look at Serene Tuba, Rahmatullah alayh, he did the same thing with all his numerous kids, you know, because the thing is, his kids were righteous. You know, all of his kids were righteous, very, very righteous. So with that being left behind, you know, what more can you ask for, you know?
Multiple wife or up to 4 wives because they want to be able to have as much children as possible, so that thinking about their hereafter when they die, they can be able to get as much dua, as much prayers in their grave from the children or the many children that they will have. And another way that we can look up polygamy, I wouldn't say it's a great thing in that sense, but a lot of marriages where it's like different wives, especially here in Africa, especially here in Senegal. By the way, Senegal is well known for polygamy. A lot of men here have multiple wives, and it's just the norm.
And that's the thing, like, and that's why, like, this is why I'm gonna be honest, like, with these Belejo women. A lot of Belejo women can't handle an African man. That's just the bottom line. Like, that's just the reality. A Belejo woman can't handle me. I know that because I push a hard line, and I'm gonna continue to push that hard line. You know what I mean? And so, with that being said, it's like if they were to go to places where polygamy is common and stuff like that, if you take Belejo women and even some instances Belejo men, if you take them to these places, then unfortunately what's going to happen is they're going to try to change the wheel. They're going to try to change the order, and the local people aren't going to be with that. You know, they're not going to have that. You know what I mean? Well, let's continue.
You can count like how many couples where it's just a wife and a husband and that's it. Knowing that this Senegal is about close to 97 to 98% Muslim, so you will always see like a man with 2 to 3 wives. It's very, like, I would say it's so casual, it's so normal here.
But that's the thing, like, if you look at it in like a modern woman's Western society, like, they'll think that we're misogynist, chauvinistic for doing just like exercising something that we're allowed to do. You know, like, this is something we're allowed to do. I'm allowed to have 4 wives. Like, now I understand that in the Western society, it would be difficult to take care of 4 women. However, if I have the resources and I can put, like, for example, have a 2-floor apartment or something like that, and I have one woman living on the bottom floor with everything that she needs, and then another woman on the top, and then them vice versa, like switching, then there shouldn't be an issue. You know, there shouldn't be really an issue. A lot of people like to pervert it and stuff like that, and it's not even something that you can really pervert.
That again, seeing like a man and a woman just like a one to one like that might seem like, oh, okay, and then you will always hear people provoking you like, I'm gonna give your husband a 2nd wife or 3rd wife because it's such a norm and so acceptable here.
And you see how casual she is? You see how she's not saying anything against it, and she's just like talking just like regular. You know what I mean? But this would be called a pick-me to Belejo women. This would be considered a pick-me.
So, with that said, you will hear a lot of stories in Senegal where a man will have his wife and then he will have a wife that his mother or his parent had, told him to marry. So, for example, let me be more clear, in the I would say Fulani community, where when they are born, so let's say a boy is born and then a cousin that's a girl is also born, you will always tend to hear that that cousin were given to the little boy from a young age. I don't know if that's clear, but it
In my case, that was the case, but the thing is, I left. My parents, like, basically my parents kind of like had different plans, but that was the original plan. Like, they were like, oh, okay, well, he already has a wife lined up. But then, I came to the States. I was sent to the States, and so that's when those plans were derailed.
would be like from a long time ago where the families will have agreed that, when these two grow up, they will be husband and wife. So they will, grow up, everybody's doing their life whatsoever. The man goes and marry a wife, whether it's within that community or another. The first designated person that the family had agreed on from a really young age, that person is normally will still become his wife. So let's say he goes and he married the love of his life, high school sweetheart or whatsoever.
So, in essence, she's saying that, like, okay, let's say that you have the wife that they set up for you, but then you go marry a wife ahead of her, then she'll more or less she's still gonna marry you, more or less so.
There's always that promise that was made by the parents, and the parents will stick to that promise. So you will always hear that, oh, my parents married her for me, so it wasn't really my choice. A lot of men, you will hear them say that, and most of the time this is actually true, because it's something like a pact that was signed from the time they were so little. So then, even they do go ahead and marry a wife elsewhere, they will always end up marrying this person as a second wife or a third wife whatsoever. So guys, these are the 3 points that I wanted to bring up to you. Please let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are. Are you for polygamy? Are you not for polygamy? What are the reasons why you would be for it or not for it? And do know that everything I'm saying in this video is from my personal experience as a Senegalese and an African.
Okay. So now, let's look at her saying this real quick. Hold on. Let's listen.
Hey guys, this is Aisha. Welcome to my channel, and I'm gonna make this video extremely quick. And as the title states, I'm gonna answer the question: do African men want submissive women? I had this discussion with a close friend of mine, and we went back and forth for a while. So I decided to make this clip and share my thoughts with you guys as well. And my answer is no, but then yes, to a certain degree. So stay tuned and I'll explain exactly what I mean by this.
Yeah, let's see what she mean. Let's see what she's talking about.
So do African men want submissive women? First answer is no. I believe that African men, or all men for that matter, wants a partner. I strongly believe they want someone they could have different walks of life with, someone they could exchange ideas, someone that can challenge them. That's what I believe.
It depends. I'll say yes and no. If they can challenge them to get better and better themselves while they're still getting better as well, then yes, maybe so. But if they're just constantly challenging, asking questions, being combative and things like that, then nah, we can do without that.
Someone that, they can go, it could be two ways instead of just one, like a slave and master relationship. So that's what I believe. Yes, they do want a submissive woman to a certain degree, and what I mean by that is, a woman who knows when to listen, a woman who knows when to...
Peace of mind.
I didn't mean to do that.
Hey guys, that's what I believe. Someone that, they can go, it could be two ways instead of just one, like a slave and master relationship. So that's what I believe. yes, they do want a submissive woman to a certain degree. And what I mean by that is, a woman who knows when to listen, a woman who knows when to speak, a woman who allows him to be a man. The African men that I have come across they want that relationship that's a 70-30, 70% is my partner, 30% she knows how to make me feel like a man. So that's what I believe. Traditionally, we are brought up, in submissive kind of relationship where a great example would be when we get married and, in our traditional weddings, you're told to be very submissive to your husband, to close your eyes on a lot of things, and, things will work out. But slowly but surely this is changing, especially in this era where, social media had made the world even smaller. Things are changing, and I feel like, but slowly but surely this is changing, especially in this era where, social media had made the world even smaller. Things are changing, and I feel like, men and African men in this case do want a partner. I don't believe that they want a 100% submissive woman, and that's my thought. So this concludes the video. If you guys,
to a certain extent, I agree with her, but then to a certain extent, I don't. Because I guess you can say, yeah, we do want a woman who maybe has some intellectual things, or she wants some things that she can add to, what we have going on. I think yes, I agree with that. However, we don't want those things to get the best of her and make them disrespect us. That we don't agree with. But anyhow, man, let me know what y'all think about this. Like and subscribe. Fuller signing out. Njara.